Elena's Barre, the best place on the internet, the very best by far. She'll help improve your fitness, but there's also so much more. 'Cause here are just a few things that this channel has in store. There's barre and there's Pilates and there's belly dancing too, and many styles of yoga, so I'm sure there's one for you. Then watch her practice piano string from right within her home. She's in such big condition, she'll outrun the metronome. Elena's Barre, Elena's Barre, the best place on the internet, the very best by far. It's not just the piano, but the ukulele too. The guitar and violin are even more that she can do. She does so many different things, it's hard not to lose track. I nearly didn't mention that she posts on her Substack. Elena's Barre, Elena's Barre, the best place on the internet, the very best by far. Yet controversial topics may be brought up for discussion, but try not to provoke her or she'll swear at you in Russian. And sometimes certain topics can make quite a big impression, so remember you take part at your own risk and your discretion. Elena's Barre, Elena's Barre, the best place on the internet, the very best by far. You might even meet Anitta if you're quite a loyal fan. She's got a fixed male cat, but she's so desperate for a man. We've really got it all, then you couldn't ask for more. So sit right back and watch Elena shave a 3 or 4. Elena's Barre, Elena's Barre, the best place on the internet, the very best by far.
Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to Elena's Barre, low impact full body workouts. I'm today again with the resurgence of sanity, guys. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Steve, for joining me today. It's always great to see you. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
I'm doing fine. Yeah.
Fine. Are you excited, guys, about today's topic?
Yes, I am.
Oh, good.
But, I'm only half as excited as you are.
Oh, yeah. I've been looking forward to today's live stream, guys. We are doing part 2 of the Delusion Never Ends. And if you haven't watched the first part, I highly recommend you to go check it out before you show up for this one. And then let me welcome here Accounting Sheep. Great to see you, Sheep. Thank you for the music. Yeah, it's always so joyful, and he has a lot of music on his YouTube channel. Yeah, anyway, guys, Steve, do you want to begin? Do you want to do a little intro?
Okay. Well, we never know what we're going to do the following week. And when we finish this stream, we don't have any idea what we're doing next week. So, something will come up, or someone will find a YouTube video or a theme or something, and then we kind of think about it and develop it. Well, this time I came across women in China. They're called leftover women in their 30s. And, they went, well, they're obviously feminists. They went for the degree. And they have advanced degrees, and they've done well some of them have done very well in their careers. They put off marriage. Now they're past the wall. They started thinking about marriage around 30. And then it didn't happen. And now they're 35, 36. Ooh. They're having a tough time. So, it seemed like, delusion in action. Now they're suffering the consequences. I shouldn't laugh at it, but in general, it is kind of funny.
I mean, they created...
they created their own situation.
Yeah.
So, that's where we came up with the idea, Delusion Part 2. And last time, we talked about the delusion never ends. Well, we're talking about the never-ending delusion. You know what? This might just be a recurring theme. No, we're not going to stay on this forever. But in a month, maybe we come back and do some more discussions on delusion. Yeah. Because it's going to keep coming up. It's going to get bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
We might get through more video this time. I remember last week it was so bad we could there was so much delusion we couldn't even get through the whole video. Like maybe 10-20 minutes into her video or something. It was like an hour
but her
long.
video was like an hour long. So yeah, I knew it wasn't going to happen. But it was a gold mine.
It's hilarious.
You know what fascinates me, guys? It's to see how many views these videos get. It's mostly women. This is her audience, I would assume, right? She is passing on her wisdom, let's say, to the younger generations, to other women. And women are watching
Well, no, I think the majority of her viewers are male. It's men are care about trying to learn about women. Women don't care about learning about themselves or other women. And yeah, some women care a little bit about learning about men, but it's mostly about me and what I want. And so they're not motivated to learn. They just feel. That's overly general. So yes, there are exceptions, and it's not as extreme as I say, but yeah, true.
Okay, she wrote us a comment here. Now all those Chinese women in their late 30s will never have kids. So who will work in the factories? That's a great question.
It's not the factory women, though.
Oh, because they don't have kids, and kids could
they
be
won't have
boys.
Right. But the women, the leftover women, are the educated women. A lot of them have master's degrees.
Yeah,
and
true.
they went into the office jobs. They're not just working class women. Their delusions are not so high because, hey, I'm only a factory girl. I can't expect a high value man, so they get married. It's the women, boss bitches, boss babes.
Yeah.
Who, as they get older, believe it or not, in spite of everything, their expectations get higher because they view themselves as a high value woman.
Yeah.
It's counterintuitive.
Well, and then when demographics goes down, there are no more kids. Sheep is right, actually. There will be no more.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with sheep. The only thing, accounting sheep. It's only that this isn't directly affecting factory women or factory people because there's a class system in China.
Yeah.
These are about the educated, one class up from the factory worker. It's very classist in China.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So they're supposed to be the smart ones.
One can only hope.
But they don't seem very smart. The irony.
Yeah, there's a statement. Intelligence is no protection against stupidity.
That's so true. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Wow. They have to dumb down their standards by so much because every year they wait, it goes like 5 years or 2 years. That decreases their objective sexual market value, not their perceptual market value. We know that in their mind they are all tens, There is no fight there. But objectively, they are actually losing value because, the eggs are no longer as fertile. Like at 35, it's much harder to conceive a baby than at 25, you know?
Right. And so when they're in their starting, let's say 30, 32, 36, I'm just pulling these numbers up, not real, but her value is going down by 20% per year.
20% per year.
Well, I'm just pulling this number up.
Okay.
Just as an example. So her value goes down by 20% a year, and she gets more desperate. So her expectations go down by 10% a year. So yes, she is lowering her expectations, but not as quickly as her value declines.
That's so
So
true.
there gets to be a bigger and bigger gap as she gets 36, 37. Okay, yeah, her expectations have come down substantially, but her value is so much lower, especially in China, because they got youth and fertility, and it's gone. Sorry, Chinese men are just not interested.
Ship writes here, SMV of a Chinese feminist probably still beats the average Western woman. This is what we are about to show to you guys. I've seen the videos that Steve has sent to me.
I want to hear his view at the end, whether he still believes that.
Yeah, we will be curious to see, Shiv. So stick around, please, okay? We want to know your opinion at the end of this stream. Oh my goodness. Even when I watched those videos, I was like, you know what? Maybe Western women are not that bad. Just a thought.
It's hard to believe they can be worse.
Right. Well, okay, guys, shall we jump into the videos? Because we kind of prepared the... Okay, so which one shall I go first?
Let's go with the Chinese woman first.
Oh, Chinese woman first. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Just checking. Because there are a few videos here, guys. Okay, found it. We'll start from the very beginning, right?
Sure.
Okay.
好崩溃啊。I feel so overwhelmed. It feels like all the bad things are happening at once over the past couple of days. I really wish I had someone to share the burden with, but I feel like I may never find a partner in this lifetime. I feel so helpless. Right now, it's not just about having someone who wants me. I feel like my existence in this world is kind of redundant. I'm already 36 years old and have no value in the dating market, no reproductive value either. My emotions are unstable, my personality isn't great, and I don't have much money. So I can't provide economic value or emotional value, and not even appearance value. It's only natural that people would reject me. But how am I supposed to keep going? The 36-year-old woman, Mi Li, holds a master's degree from a prestigious university. She often refers to herself as a high-quality older single woman and frequently shares on social media the many difficulties she encounters while seeking a partner. She also discusses her feelings of loneliness and the pressure from family and friends to get married. On June 17th, she broke down in tears, regretting that she missed the prime time for marriage due to her focus on her career. Now, being single, she feels an overwhelming sense of anxiety. Mi Li's tears convey a clear message to all young women. Do not miss the best time to get married. She reminds them that marriage is not only an emotional support, but also a guarantee and foundation for life, urging them not to repeat her mistakes. In her video, Mi Li regretfully stated, "I used to give myself many excuses, thinking that marriage was not important and that career was the most important thing. But now it seems that these were just excuses I made to deceive myself." Mi Li's video resonated with many users on social media, inspiring many to reflect on themselves. In the comment section, some people said, "When you're young, you always think there's plenty of time, but in an instant, you become an older single woman." Others remarked, "I hope this reminds women chasing their careers that marriage is not a constraint, but true freedom." Some others comforted her, commenting, "It's okay if you can't find someone. Make peace with yourself and stop forcing yourself to look." Emotional counselor Wang Lingguo posted a video on Douyin on July 19th sharing,
If you're getting older and still single, you actually don't have to feel too bad about it. Who says getting married will definitely make you feel happy? Maybe staying single at this age is just saving you from suffering, so try to be more optimistic.
Mili's situation prompts people to ponder whether women's pursuit of a career has surpassed their desire for a happy life. In society, many people are so immersed in competition that they neglect the warmth of family and love. This also leads people to reevaluate the importance and significance of marriage. While a career is important, a healthy family and happy marriage are also worth striving for. Nowadays, more and more older single women are openly seeking marriage on social media. On July 19th, a 36-year-old single woman, Miss Zhou, posted a video on Douyin.
感谢德爸爸把我这条推荐给全国的单身人士。
Thank you, Douyin, for recommending my video to single people all over the country. Many people have commented, saying I'm brave to come to this platform alone to find a partner, facing all the doubts, confusion, and ridicule. It's not about being brave, it's about being responsible for myself. Don't believe sayings like, if you build it, they will come. I know too many excellent women who are still single despite their age. I don't want to be an internet celebrity, but if exposure brings me more visibility and helps me find a partner faster, it's a blessing. So we all need to be a little braver. Happiness is something you have to seize, fight for, and strive for.
来到著名的皇家公园相亲角来碰碰运气。
Today, I came to the famous Shanghai Royal Park matchmaking corner to try my luck. It's 9 a.m. and there are so many people here. It's really hot and I see parents who are incredibly worried about finding partners for their children. Today, I feel there are many excellent girls here, many with PhDs who studied abroad. I feel like I'm out of luck. If such excellent people can't find someone, it's even harder for an ordinary person like me. This 36-year-old intelligent beauty, Miss Zhou, is 1.75 meters tall. She's publicly seeking marriage on social media, challenging herself to find a partner in 100 days and get married in 200 days. She hopes to find a compatible partner who shares her pursuit of a spiritual life, but reality leaves her feeling helpless. Since June 1st, when she first posted her video, over 50 days have passed, and she has posted more than 40 episodes, yet she has not found a suitable man. Will Miss Zhou succeed? Another 36-year-old single woman, Xiao Han, is also publicly seeking marriage on Douyin. But her criteria might make potential partners shy away.
我的择偶要求就4点，第一点是
I only have 4 requirements for a partner. First, you must settle down in the Zhejiang, Shanghai area. I don't accept long-distance relationships. I'm in Suzhou, and it's okay if you settle down nearby. If you're from another place, you need to buy a house and settle here. Second, you must be good-looking, pleasing to the eye, and no shorter than 1.7 meters. Third, you need a stable income, with an annual salary of no less than 300,000 yuan before or after taxes, which proves your ability to earn a living. Fourth, we need a betrothal gift for marriage, but I'll match whatever you give as a dowry. Can you meet these 4 requirements? Xiao Han's criteria for choosing a partner have inspired reflection on social media. Her views reflect those of many older single women. As they age, gain experience, and succeed in their careers, their requirements for a partner become higher. A counselor at a marriage agency believes that the difficulty older single women face in getting married is because they view themselves as luxury goods, sticking by their standards indefinitely.
任何一个大龄女生被剩下，都是因为性价比太低。
Any older single woman who remains single has a low cost-to-performance ratio, according to a male member who recently broke up with his girlfriend. He said that older single women who consider themselves high quality, regardless of how beautiful, educated, or free they appear, have unrealistic expectations if they're still single. Those wanting to marry don't want to marry them, and those wanting to marry them aren't good enough in their eyes. It's all about having too high expectations when it comes to marriage. I said to him, women who are beautiful, highly educated, and earn incomes should have advantages, right? He sighed and said, she's beautiful, but so are 20-year-olds with lower demands. She graduated from a top university, but there are plenty of such graduates in big cities. She earns 20,000 yuan a month, but she doesn't share it with me and instead uses it as leverage to demand more money from me. It would be better if she earned nothing. She promises to have a child in 5 years and raise it well, but who can know if she can even have a child in 5 years? Young women are beautiful too, and they can raise children without being so materialistic. He also said that men in the age for marriage should avoid women over 35, as luxury items are rarely bought. Besides, many women think they're luxury items when they aren't, which is the real issue. With a growing number of older single women, parents are often the most anxious. They push for marriage because they hope their children will settle down early and have a companion to care for them. Parents think that marrying someone with decent qualities is enough. Love is too fleeting. As long as the person has no bad habits and is reliable, that's sufficient. However, for educated women, marriage cannot just be settled for, and their unwillingness to settle gradually turns them into older single women. Their view of marriage differs significantly from the previous generation, with the biggest change being their increased independence and emphasis on spiritual needs. In the matchmaking group for those aged 25 to 40 in China, women far outnumber men. This seemingly counterintuitive outcome is hard to believe, but after verifying through multiple online channels, the data on the male-to-female ratio in matchmaking across major cities is approximately 1 to 9. At the Wangsong Academy Matchmaking Corner in Hangzhou, a mother forcibly dragged her 35-year-old daughter to a matchmaking event. The daughter reluctantly said, "I don't want to go." The mother ignored her, dragging her to an older man who was looking for a partner for his son. Upon hearing that the man was born in 1979, 13 years older than her, had a house but no car, and was a local from Hangzhou, the daughter's face showed disinterest. This Anhui woman continued to visit the matchmaking corner several more times, hoping to find a suitable partner. It's Saturday again, and I'm at the Wangsong Academy Matchmaking Corner in Hangzhou. It's crowded with people seeking love, some for their children, others for themselves. I found a place to stand and waited for my fate to come. People come and go, and occasionally, older men and women come up to talk to me.
嗨，大家好。
Hi everyone, let me introduce myself. I'm from Lu'an, Anhui, born in 1989, the year of the snake, and still single. I'm looking for someone to spend the rest of my life with. Although I'm already 35, I still have a girlish heart and yearn for beautiful love. Many say marriage is about finding someone to live with, and over time, it becomes more about kinship. Some say don't set your standards too high, and just find somebody to get by with. I've been weighing these options. Many who've been through marriage say love isn't what's important. What's important is that the person is good to you and responsible. A stable life is all you need. Others say you should marry someone you love deeply because marriage will bring many challenges you've never considered before, and if you don't love him enough, you'll become unhappy, bitter, or even depressed. Since I've never been married, I really don't know which path to take.
Hangzhou has an overflow of older single women because they take the top criteria for men as their minimum standard. At the matchmaking corner in Wangsong Academy, you'll find that 90% of the profiles belong to women in their 30s, and nearly 70% of them are in their 30s. Their consistent requirements are: men must be at least 1.75 meters tall, look decent, be within 5 years of their age, have at least a bachelor's degree, own a fully paid house and a car in Hangzhou, earn at least 300,000 yuan a year, have no bad habits, and be attentive, fit, and caring. I asked a girl nearby if these standards were too high. She said, "Without money, how can you support a family? Without a car, how do you get around? Without a house, where will you live?" All the girls here have the same standards. If I set my standards lower, I'll be outshone by others. But if everyone has such high standards, who
You hit a
Sorry,
button.
guys, 1 second. I clicked the wrong button. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
I'm so sorry. I was trying to respond to Shiv saying that sisterhood to Veralis when they try to set their standards not lower than other chicks around them. And then it threw us off.
it's not the sisterhood. They're in competition with other women. And if they settle for something less, some other woman is going to get more. And so it's competition inside the system.
None of them are
It's
getting
not,
anything.
it's not being united.
Yeah, but they are also setting these standards based on what other women are doing.
Right.
So
Yeah.
in the end, they are appeasing to the sisterhood, like what
Right.
other
Okay.
women are
I agree.
are setting. That's what they do. Okay, let's keep watching. I'm so sorry, guys. I got us disrupted from this one. Okay. We have a little bit left, so let me just scroll it back a little bit.
their 30s. Their consistent requirements are: men must be at least 1.75 meters tall, look decent, be within 5 years of their age, have at least a bachelor's degree, own a fully paid house and a car in Hangzhou, earn at least 300,000 yuan a year, have no bad habits, and be attentive, fit, and caring. I asked a girl nearby if these standards were too high. She said, "Without money, how can you support a family? Without a car, how do you get around? Without a house, where will you live?" All the girls here have the same standards. If I set my standards lower, I'll be outshone by others. But if everyone has such high standards, who can end up with a partner? In Hangzhou, men who meet these criteria are scarce and snapped up quickly. Why would they come to a matchmaking corner? Even though the women here are decent, with houses, cars, and savings, the men have these too. What advantages do older single women have? Quality men have a broad choice, and unless a woman is young, good-looking, and has standout advantages, why would a man choose her?
In a big city matchmaking market, especially in parks with clear pricing for matchmaking, it has become a place for bargaining. Currently, the marriage agency's registrations also show more women and fewer men, with women generally being older. This is similar to matchmaking in parks, where appearance, work, education, and family background are all considered. Perhaps these conditions are part of what constitutes love. A traditional Chinese custom says, a man should get married on coming of age, and so should a woman. This has persisted for thousands of years, especially for women. However, this traditional custom began to break down after the 20th century. Many people believe that due to the long-term implementation of the one-child policy and the preference for boys over girls, there has always been a situation in China where there are more men than women. According to authoritative data from demographers, the gender ratio in China is 117 to 100, with 30 to 40 million more males than females. Official data also shows that in 2021, the number of single people over the age of 15 in China reached a record high of 239 million. The number of marriage registrations hit a historic low in 2022. A survey by the Chinese Communist Youth League in 2021 of about 2,900 unmarried urban young people found that 44% of women do not plan to get married. Many women, after giving up on marriage, form a stable single life. On Chinese social media, if women in their 30s or 40s post with tags like "no marriage, no children," they often receive thousands of likes or more. It's important to understand that leftover women are not single because they can't get married, but because they refuse to marry for the sake of marriage. Professor Su Xiaoling from the University of California, Davis, believes that this choice is related to women's educational levels. She said, women with a college education become more determined to assert their rights and social status. Well-educated women find it increasingly difficult to find suitable men who share the same views on women's rights. She also said there's an excess of highly educated women, but a shortage of highly educated men. Many leftover women have high standards, viewing many men as unambitious or lacking prospects. They believe that their knowledge and talents require men who are financially secure, good-looking, and high of character. However, in reality, most men are ordinary, and high-quality men have a wide range of choices and often marry and have children early. Many Chinese men often compare a woman's youth to fruit. The fresher the fruit, the more buyers it attracts. As the fruit sits and withers, its price drops. Eventually, even at a big discount, it still may not sell. This is the current situation of leftover women. A leftover woman would complain, "There are no good men in the world. I haven't met any man who meets my standards." However, the increase in the number of leftover women in Chinese society will inevitably lead to a rise in leftover men. These women often live in their own fantasy, often have high-paying jobs, and are economically independent, allowing them the option to remain single. On the contrary, leftover men are different. First, there is a large absolute surplus of marriageable men, and they are often at a disadvantage. Their main problems are economic and cultural disadvantages, social exclusion, and discrimination. A deeper phenomenon is the current instability in China's employment situation, which makes men afraid to get married. Without a stable economic foundation, they cannot afford to start a family. This marginalized social group is likely to bring significant negative impacts on society. If there's a sudden event in society, such as a civil dispute, a conflict between officials and citizens, or mass unemployment, these leftover men could be the main force behind serious social conflicts. In fact, in recent years, these leftover men have been linked to many instances of mass violence in society.
There you go.
Okay, this is one of many, many videos like this about China.
Mm-hmm.
I love it because they're head on talking about stuff that we're just not going to expose or talk about in the Western world. But
Right.
you know, they're just out there, and this is not rare. So I encourage all the viewers, go look at more of these videos, get an idea what's happening over there, and then reflect, gee, is this same stuff happening here? Except we don't talk about it.
Yeah, and I think the problem also is that media and independent media content creators, they really are so sucked up with the delusion. They're trying to run with it for as long as they can without seeing the reality, what happens in front of them. Or even if they see, they choose not to because they do it for clout, for monetary benefits, you know.
Gee.
These are the city girls. You need to find a good peasant.
Oh,
yeah,
but
shit.
yeah, okay. Those are country, a lot of them are country girls who moved to the city.
Yeah.
The country boys are bumpkins.
Mhm.
They're not high quality men. So she goes to the city to find a high quality man. So all the high quality men in her city, yes, there are plenty. But a man that meets her qualifications will also be way beyond the qualifications of a 25-year-old woman, making $300,000 won a year, having a house and a car, and being able to afford the dowry, which is paid to the woman's family or the woman, plus being able to afford what a lot of women think. Well, you got to spend like 10,000 won on me every month.
What?
Oh yeah, they have these expectations. So, okay, that rich man, that high quality man, can easily get a woman 10 years younger than you. And sorry, honey, he doesn't care about your education. He doesn't care.
Oh,
Yeah.
so the delusion is not just in the West.
Oh no, it's actually greater. And it's counterintuitive. Yeah, we've all heard about this one child policy
Policy.
in
Yeah.
China. And oh yeah, they're birthing a lot more boys than girls. So there's an overabundance of men and a shortage of women, which would imply that every woman has her pick of excess number of men. So every woman should be able to find. Women are in short supply,
Yeah.
so the demand should be greater.
True.
Actually, what works out is one child means her parents treated her as a princess.
Mm-hmm.
She went and got a college degree, and now, you know what? Most
Delusion's
men,
greater.
on average, are average.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
Ah.
if every woman wants an above average man, it's just not going to work.
Well, they
He's
can't match up.
entitled.
They can't match up to the lifestyle that she is used to having with. It's much easier to afford one child versus a couple of kids or more kids, right? Because having kids is just expensive, right? Because they need clothes, they need food, they need education, and when parents can afford even, let's say, in the middle class, raising one kid, it would be much easier for them to give this kid all the best that they can give them. So yeah,
It had nothing to do with affording more than one. They just couldn't have them.
yeah.
They were restricted. And so now all these women who are looking to get married, yeah, they got these delusions about maybe having more than one kid. But they're desperate for just one.
Mm-hmm.
They're desperate
it's
for
interesting.
marriage.
What's interesting, generally a man's mind kind of fits with economics and numbers, but they think so. What happens is they think because of the supply and demand and because they're raised that they are entitled to this whole lavish lifestyle. They'll have the pick of the crop, but they have no idea how their value is continuing to decline year after year after year, and their standards keep going up. So maybe feminism, A, it's a delusion and it brings more delusion. B, it brings more delusion.
Yeah.
Okay, is it that different here?
No.
No.
And we've all watched the Whatever podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And they ask women in their 20s, well, as far as your beauty, your rank, okay, you said you're a 10 now, and you're 28. When you're 38, are you going to be as beautiful or less? I'll say, well, I think I'll be the same, maybe even a little bit better.
This is what all of them are saying, because they have this maturity, they've gained this experience, this spiritual journey that they've been up to. This is what I was listening to all the fitness instructors. Do you know what kind of crap they tell to younger women? That you're beautiful at any age, and they are aging women out there. Like, they could be beautiful for their age. Yes, I agree. There are some stunning fitness instructors out there who look amazing in their 40s, in their 50s, right? Because they've been taking care of themselves. But the kind of advice that they give to women, just like, follow your heart and you will be beautiful at any age. You can do whatever you put your mind into at any age. I'm like, this is the worst kind of advice. The worst kind of advice to women.
And then when these women talk about fertility, well, yes, I'm 36, but I just saw a video or heard about a woman who was 42 and just gave birth. See? So I still have my fertility.
Exactly.
So the exception becomes the rule.
Right.
Exactly.
And they all think they're the exception.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And even the people, the women who give this kind of advice, they say, like, but it worked for me, right? So I'm sharing just my experience. And look, they don't consider the factors such as genetics, because it plays into effect, right? What kind of genetics a woman has, and other factors such as maybe temperament or ability of a woman to talk and communicate with others. Like there are so many things that play into this. And then they say, like, okay, here is a cookie cutter for you, lady. If you just follow these steps that I did, you will succeed in life.
Now I'm going to tell you something that I know absolutely is going to shock you. People in China divorce. And a woman in her, let's say she married fairly early. She gets to be about 32. And she decides her husband's just not cutting it. She gets divorced. And he thinks there are better men out there. There's videos about this, talking about the women. And you know what? He couldn't find a better man.
Shocker.
And now she's lamenting about, well, he was probably not that bad. And I know you're just shocked that women who divorce in China can't find another man, and they end up single, just like the leftover.
Well, the same thing kind of happens here, except they're just used and reused.
Yeah.
And I think society also has the delusion here, so they can they can count on people's delusion to try to help them out here in the United States, I guess. But yeah, on the whole, they enter that post-wall category with, if they have a divorce and then they have kids. They're like, yeah, but guys still want to F me, right? Yeah, but they
Well,
don't
this
stick
is what
around.
misleads women because Nick, they think that, oh, just because I'm attractive and so many guys are like, they are so interested in me for recreational purposes only, but it doesn't click in their mind that recreational purposes is for fucking only. It's not for committed relationship and taking care of a woman.
Well, there's two aspects. In China, okay, yes, some of these women go out, well, let's call it the hookup culture. And, I'm sure there's illicit sex going on. But actually, you listen to a lot of Chinese men in some of these videos, they say, you're not even worth touching or going out or talking to, because she is delusional with her entitlement. And I don't care if I can have sex with her. I don't want to be around her.
Yeah. Are you saying that Chinese men are more masculine, Steve?
No.
No? Okay.
No, I'm not. Chinese men are less masculine.
Okay.
Because they're single children. They've kind of been pampered too. They don't. Plutarch has told me this. No, they're not. They don't have a dominant masculine presence.
They are more likely to say to women that, no, we are not dealing with your bullshit.
Yeah, that's not masculine. That's MGTOW.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay, so the MGTOW men in the U.S. say the same thing. Now, are MGTOW men known as being very masculine?
Well,
No.
it depends. I mean,
No, they're checked out, so that they're just doing whatever they want. They're checked out. That doesn't make them masculine, though. In fact, it might make them less masculine.
because they don't want to deal with women. But it's like, see,
Yep.
I can't really blame them for doing that, because it's like women didn't help themselves, Women created so much mess in our society that it almost like it forced men to, like, we don't want to deal with you. Why should we buy and tolerate your delusion and entitlement?
I think men can become more masculine with age. If he has more experience and more confidence, theoretically, he should become more masculine because he's more capable. Oftentimes, that comes after he gets married because he has obligations, responsibilities for providing for his family. And so, yeah, okay. But if he takes a backseat to his wife, he doesn't become more masculine. Now, women, on the other hand, they actually, if you marry them younger, they're more willing to take that lesser role, and the hierarchy exists. And since men don't really value a woman's education or her income, just he needs to respect him, provide sexual variety, and give him peace. Nag.
SVP.
Do these older women even understand that or provide that? The younger woman is more apt to do that.
She is, if she doesn't listen to the older women's advice. I'm telling you guys, like, women know how to talk to women, right? They mostly want to hear what they want to hear. So the older women tell them what these younger women want to hear, because it sounds very nice and very appealing, and they are still young. Like somebody said in that video, that it feels like they have a lot of time ahead of them. So younger women are following this older women's advice. They are making all of these mistakes that older women have made, and then they end up having the same result.
Sisterhood.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw this, like, even you can see this even in the church. They, the feminine ladies try to give all the advice, but actually it ends up creating harpies, undesirable women that they keep waiting and waiting, waiting. They think they're gonna find their Prince Charming, and then they
Mm.
might, but it's like they settle for the beta, and then they're not really happy, but they have some kids, and then they kick them to the curb.
Yeah, didn't we do a stream on this about a week
Yeah.
ago?
Yeah.
Have fun in your 20s,
Mhm.
get close to the wall, get married to a beta, pump out a kid or two, and then, oh, I miss that dominance in a man, and he's boring me. I should get married and go find a dominant man who can actually pull my trigger a little better.
Mhm.
They
Yeah,
usually never do.
invitation for an open relationship.
Well, yeah, that's a desire. The open relationship is merely a desire to keep your comfort and stability going elsewhere to find the excitement. See, it sounds like the best of both worlds. I can keep my beta and I can go get pumped by Chad.
Yeah.
Nick is just
Oh.
laughing over there.
Well, you just see it, and it's that you see the delusion even in, like, the Christian churches, that are very traditional, and you see the pattern repeat itself over and over again. But hey, those bad men, what did they do wrong? At least, with the video that we just saw from regarding China, at least they're facing the facts.
Yeah. At least they are
Well,
admitting that something is wrong.
yeah, they're just not as their media is not as controlled. They
I
can
actually
talk
thought
about this.
it would be more controlled, considering the amount of censorship there, because they don't really have access to popular platforms. I remember when I was in China, it was a while ago, I had to get a proxy to use Facebook because
Well,
people
yes, it's
couldn't.
more controlled, but they're not controlling this content. The content that we're watching is not controlled, whereas this kind of content is controlled in the US. So it's not an overall amount of control, it's what you can and cannot say. And they're more willing and open about this kind of stuff in China than we are here.
Because the numbers, they have to face reality.
They do, yeah.
And so they say this might help reality. This might help the future of their nation if the information's out there instead of like what we're doing here is just pulling the mask over everybody's faces, sticking your head in the ground and thinking everything's going to be okay.
Yeah. Yeah. They are forced to face reality.
Stallion sheep.
Why would they censor that? Look at all these available women
No, please take.
for you Westerners to take. No, please take them. Ship. Yeah.
Okay, so for any of you Westerners who are thinking about this, okay, 1.75 meters tall. That's 5'6".
What about 5'9"?
1.5 meters.
1.75.
0.75 meters to feet.
I think it's
It's
5 feet 9 inches.
5 feet 7.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
5'7". Okay, well, you know what? You qualify. 300,000 won a year. Well, what is it? Eight something won to the dollar?
300,000 yuan.
Well, 300,000 divided by 8.5.
Oh, is it a year or a month?
A year.
A year. Accountancy.
300,000 per
Mhm.
year. 30 divided by 8 is a little less than 40,000. 35 to 40,000. You're making 40,000. You're 5'8". And okay, you're reasonably okay. You're not like me with no hair, because Chinese women don't like that. And you're 40 years old. You're looking pretty good. Let's say you own a house. You know, you're American, so you don't even have to own a house. You will own a car. You qualify. You can go over there and get one of these women. Do you wanna? You know what? She's not gonna love you for who you are. It's just, did you meet her qualifications? Gee, you win the prize. So for you passport bros, is it that the women are better if you go to a foreign country? Or is that you just automatically qualify as a high value man and, you know, they treat you accordingly?
They won't treat him well. Not if a man moves to your place and then.
Oh, initially they will.
Well, yeah, of course.
Get him to wife her up.
Of course.
Afterwards, okay, are women that different? Maybe a little bit, but not that much.
Yeah. So here is the calculation. I just did it. Yeah, and then you have to move to another country with a different culture where you don't know the language, and there are so many Chinese languages out there. I was learning Mandarin. It's the simplified Chinese language, but each province has its own language. And the salary that you will make there will be much lower, obviously, than here. So if here you make 42,000, there, depending on the job that you take, yeah, it's going to be significantly less. So you're not.
And bring her back to the U.S., and then she'll really become westernized and be the same kind of woman you'll find here.
Oh, yeah. If she already has
escaping the delusion.
Yeah, if she already has that kind of mindset in her own country, then, you know, bringing her here will make it worse.
You know what? Maybe you should go to Russia to find a good woman. What do you say to that, Elena?
Good luck there, too. You know, we have feminism there as well. Yeah.
You don't want to talk about that?
Oh, like feminism in Russia?
No, these passport bros, they should just go look up a Russian lady.
Oh. Well, if you stay in Russia, and this is what Paul Bauer was saying, that if you stay in the country where woman is from, maybe she will behave better and she will treat you better, because her culture is something that forms her mindset and her behavior. If you take her out of the culture, she is more likely to adopt the feminist delusions. Because in that country where she is right now, and it doesn't have to be Russia, it could be China, it could be any African country, or, you know, like third world countries.
Eastern Europe, like Romania, Poland,
Yeah.
Czechoslovakia.
Let's say like developing or underdeveloped countries. If you take a woman from there, then if you leave there, this is what makes her behave that way. So her culture forms her worldview. If you take her out of that worldview, let's say, and introduce you into a new world with a lot of opportunities, with a lot of freedom, she will buy into it very quickly, because people get used to the good stuff very quickly and they become very lazy.
Well, there's a simple thing. If you, as a Westerner, go to one of those countries and you keep your Western income, you're going to maintain your high value status just by virtue of the income.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's going to look around and say, well, I don't have better opportunities. You move her over here, in addition to the things Elena said, she's going to say, oh, damn, this guy, okay, he's not really that rich. There's all kinds of other guys out here who are better looking, who make more money. I guess I can monkey branch here. So the only thing, and I think this is historically true, one of the main things that keep women with a man and why divorces weren't high in the past, she didn't really have better prospects. She couldn't do that. So she was forced to stay in the marriage and work it out or just deal with it. And no one's forcing her because she sees better opportunities. You stay in her country, she's not going to see better opportunities. So that's kind of a wall or a restraint.
Yeah, well, women need that restraint, because you can see where uncontrolled hypogamy and uncontrolled female nature lead us to. They just start divorcing decent guys, destroying them in divorce courts, taking the kids away from them, and you know, and ending up being single, run through harlots, or how did they say? How did they call them?
In the video?
Yeah, in the video.
I don't know. I mean, they talked about the fruit withering away and nobody wants to buy it.
Yeah.
On discount.
Leftover. Oh, here you go. Leftover women.
Yeah, leftover women.
These women, you know, with the men, why men don't complain. You know what one of their big complaints are?
Complaints
Yeah, about men.
about men. What?
Men, they have contempt for what they call bootlickers. It also could be translated as simps.
Yeah.
Okay, she wants all this stuff, all this income, and she wants gifts and all this, and you know, high-priced meals and all that. And if he provides that, then she's entitled to that. But now he's trying to buy her love, and she actually has contempt for him.
Because
Imagine that. Kind of the same way here. The more you give in to a woman and provide for her and try and please her, the less pleased she becomes, and she has no respect. She actually has contempt for you. And then she'll just, okay, he's a bootlicker, he's a simp, I'm gone.
And her standards got higher while she was with that guy. Do you think she's going to lower them? Or she's going to carry those standards and think she can get even better, even though she's getting older and aging? You know, so she's aging out. She's more used up, but now her standards are actually higher.
Yeah.
Delusion.
Sheep. Women in restraints. Elena, am I on the wrong part of the internet again?
Okay.
Okay, well, you know what? You're entitled to your fantasies.
Yeah.
Good thing for you. A lot of women are into that. Look at the popularity of 50 Shades of Grey. That's all I'm going to say on the topic.
Yeah.
All right.
I think restraint is good for women. They need it. but people may not like me for it. Shall we watch the one about simps?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, hold on a second, guys. I need to find it first. Here you go. Let's start from the beginning.
There are basically no simps among boys in China now. If they see that you have good qualities, they will take the initiative to approach you. If you want to test him, for example by being deliberately aloof and not responding to his messages, hoping that he will chase you for a while longer, you might think that because the pursuit is difficult, he will cherish you more. However, if you do this, don't expect him to cherish you. Many boys will immediately stop paying attention to you. Boys are just that realistic now, and when girls think they should wait a bit longer, they often end up disappointed.
我发现现在来相亲的男生都魔怔了。
I found that the guys who come to blind dates nowadays are a bit extreme. They all say they are no longer willing to be simps. I thought, that's good, gender equality, mutual understanding, mutual respect, right? But guess what? One guy told me that when he chats with a girl, he finds that he has sent 2 more messages than the girl, and then he says he doesn't want to be a simp anymore. If the girl doesn't reply to him within 15 minutes, he deletes her. If the girl says she is busy and can't answer the call, he blocks her directly. If they arrange a date and the girl can't make it, he disappears completely. Aren't we going a bit overboard with this simp thing?
以后不要给我买东西了，我不喜欢你。我还不想舔你了呢，舔了几个人，就你事最多。哎，这什么意思？几个人？同时舔几个人？是前天和你说话那个女生吗？还是昨天跟你吃饭的那个女生？是不是？今天必须把这话说清楚。说话呀，说话呀，你说话呀。为什么最近送饭老是迟到？你是不是想趁机甩掉我？我告诉你不可能，只能舔我，必须舔我。我现在喜欢你了，行不行啊？你说话，行不行啊？
没有用，这是第一点。我以前一直在做舔狗。
Let me tell you, as a man, don't be a simp. If you like someone but she doesn't like you, it's useless to force yourself on her. This is the first point. I used to try being a simp, but I overlooked an important fact. If she doesn't like you, no matter how much you try to flatter her, it's all in vain. Another point is that it's not true that people will only like you when you have money. This is a misconception. What you really need to do is to become better yourself, and good things will naturally follow. Your excellence is not just because you make money, but because your life experiences have enriched you. Now I understand that the reason people might not like you could be because of certain issues you have. Remember, to be successful, you need to make yourself excellent. If you keep being a simp, you might end up with nothing. Brothers, being a simp will eventually leave you with nothing. The key is to become truly excellent. Work hard to improve yourself and cherish the people around you. If you have a girlfriend, treat her well and don't pursue those self-centered girls. I used to have a weak aura, very humble and insecure, but now I have become confident. When dealing with self-centered girls, you must be confident and not humble. Brothers, never be too good to a woman. If you treat her unconditionally well, she will gradually regard herself as superior to you and think she can find someone better. The more you give, the more she will feel that you are not worthy of her. In her eyes, your sincerity will become worthless. My blood and tears have taught me that once a woman gets used to your giving, she will become increasingly selfish. Even if you no longer treat her well, she will still blame you, saying that you suddenly changed. The key is that your kindness has not earned the expected return. She will think that you treating her well is a given, and might even hold a grudge against you. Her heart will never be satisfied because you have always been a doormat. Eventually, she might tell her friends that you are a hypocrite. She will say that you started out treating her well but suddenly became a different person. In reality, brothers, your sincerity did not receive the corresponding reward, and she only feels that you have changed. Remember, don't be too good to a woman. It's like feeding a dog, you can't feed it too much. People are the same. She will find faults with you, accuse you of being hypocritical, and say that you were good to her for a while and then changed. She might even call you a scumbag, even though you treated her well, but she finds it meaningless. Brothers, remember, your sincerity should be cherished. If she takes your efforts for granted, when you stop giving, she will feel that you owe her. Don't be that kind of nice guy, don't be a doormat. Value your life and stay away from selfish women who only know how to take and not give back.
现在大部分30岁以上男人如果还没有结婚的话，一般来讲他们都是不会去恋爱的。
In recent years, most unmarried men over 30 years old usually no longer choose to fall in love. The smarter a man is, the less inclined he is to fall in love, because he believes that love brings him no benefit and is mainly to satisfy some physiological needs. I think if a man does not fall in love, he must have mastered the rules of love or spent a lot of unjust money in the past. In recent years, more and more older single women have become quite noticeable. However, there is a significant difference between leftover women and leftover men. Older leftover women generally talk tough, but in reality, more than 90% of them, despite claiming they don't want to find a partner, don't want to get married, and even plan to be child-free. As long as they are not yet 40 years old, they will still go on blind dates in secret. Even if they are not proactive, their parents will not give up. No parent is willing to accept that their daughter will not get married for life. Even if economic conditions have improved and the number of strong women has increased, deep down, women still hope to have a man to protect them. Very few women are truly willing to shoulder everything alone. There are some things in the world that women can do, but there are also many things that need a man's help. It's just that many women dare not admit it, but deep down they still need a man. I don't know if all older single men are now hiding, but their lifestyle is similar to men over 50 years old. Some men even seem to be retired and especially like fishing, spending hours at it. When walking in the evening, I see some men in their 30s squatting by the river fishing, most of whom have no families. If they had families, children, and elderly people to care for, which man would come out to fish at night? These men seem to no longer need a normal life. Their needs are minimal. They would rather play games, read books, or fish than fall in love and get married. Now, the proportion of male consumption has risen, while female consumption has declined. In the past, most men did not have their own spending power because the money they earned was for their wives and daughters. A man who could earn 8,000 yuan might have a lower quality of life than a woman who earned 3,000 yuan. However, now male spending on electronics, games, and outdoor recreational activities has greatly increased. I don't know if men inherently don't want to chase women, or if it's because the economy is bad and incomes are low, so they don't want to spend money on love, or if men really no longer need women by their side.
Can we pause it here?
I saw this guy kneeling for an entire day and night. He started kneeling at 1 o'clock.
Hey, did you see where she said these older women will secretly go on blind dates?
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have a question for you. If they secretly go on a blind date, something happens. Does it increase her body count, or is that one of them that doesn't count? It really didn't actually happen.
Sure.
It does?
Well, it increases the chances of your
Okay, you're not understanding it. Body count for women. If you ask a woman her body count, it includes every one that counts, and none of the ones that don't count, and none of the ones she can't remember.
Yeah.
So, if it happened in secret and nobody knows about it,
Well, it still happened.
didn't happen.
It's still
No, it didn't. If a forest falls in the middle of the forest and no one was there to hear it fall, it didn't happen.
You can't lie to God, okay? He knows. So, like, she can convince herself that, oh, just because some people don't see me fucking with these guys,
Right.
you know, you can't lie. in the end, you are the one who spread your legs and you acquired more body count than you already had.
You can't lie to God, but you can lie to everyone in this world.
Exactly.
They do.
Hey, does that explain?
Mm-hmm.
Does that explain a lot of female behavior in the U.S., Nick?
Oh yeah. Hey, as long as nobody else knows about it, it doesn't count.
Now, what about with those fine church women, those young church ladies in the pews? Does it apply to them, or are they better?
No, Jesus forgives them.
Yeah. Or Jesus is their boyfriend.
But they won't tell the guy when they go to the beta. Oh no, I'm pure. Wait, you want me to do this with you? What? How dare you?
Yeah, but then they turn around and do it with some bad boys.
Or no, they do that, but they had been doing that until he met the guy. Then when they had the realization, oh, maybe I need to settle.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's time to pump out some kids.
But the thing is, when she decides it's time to pump out some kids and settle, what's the first thing she does? Raises her price.
Mm-hmm.
Where, yeah, I gave it away free in the past, but I'm worth more than that now.
No, you objectively worth less than.
No, sure. Okay, there are that 4% of guys who I'll just give it up to.
Uh-huh.
Then there's that 20% of men who I would consider for a long-term relationship. Since they're long-term, I'm not going to give it up too early. I'm going to raise my value for that 20% of men. And for the rest of them, they don't see them, so they don't even count. So if you're the Chad, you get it for free.
Yeah.
If you're the nice guy with a decent income, you're going to have to pay a much higher price if she raised her value. We're kind of seeing, and thought if she has an education, master's degree, or any of that, and she earns a better income, okay, her value is even higher in her mind.
In her mind, yeah.
In the man's mind, it's actually lower.
More hassle, man. It's more hassle. Why do you want? A man wants peace. You know why these guys are standing and doing the fishing? And they're not interested. They probably look around. It's like, yeah, not worth it. Been down that road. I'm gonna go fishing. I have peace.
Well, because in addition to fighting her attitude, you also have to fight the indoctrination that she has been exposed to during the college years. So you are already dealing with combative woman. Add indoctrination to it, a lot of entitlement, and it's like, what for?
Yeah, I remember a story. Nick can relate to the fishing. Is when his marriage got really combative and ugly. What did he try and do? It didn't work because it was too cold and he didn't have all his gear, but he wanted to go fishing for peace.
I was on the Missouri River by the dam. Yep. It gives peace. It's a simple task, and you get the joy of, I'd be jigging for walleye. So.
Well, and this is what I was thinking. Video games, fishing, all of these are the hobbies to find peace, because men don't get it from women. They have to go and find it elsewhere. Because what women do, they mostly just suck men's brain. No matter what he does, they are never happy, never satisfied. It's very hard to please a woman with high education.
No, it becomes so fucking hard.
Now she wears this crown and she thinks that, okay, I've graduated from this college.
Oh, there's some useless one other thing There's one other thing that women like to suck. You know what that is?
For
What's
chats
that?
only. That one is for chats only.
The money out of his wallet. Where did your
Oh,
mind
right.
go? Come on. This is a queen channel.
True. Yeah.
Ooh. Yep.
Or you know, some
So some of
women.
these,
Okay, go ahead, Nick. Mhm.
I was saying, some of these guys seem like they've given up, and so this is kind of like China's version of MGTOW, men going their own way. I understand. Do I agree with it? No, but I can understand.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Nick, whether you agree or not has no bearing on reality.
True. Facts are the facts.
Well,
Actually,
the
this
more
goes along with what we've been saying. Okay, the situation's not good demographically and with the behavior of women. So MGTOW is just men going on strike. You're just not going to do it until things come back to reality and the laws change. Bottom line, here's how I see it. You cannot increase the delusion in women and empower them to destroy men or give them the power to destroy men. The more delusional women get, the more authority men should have, so these delusional women cannot strip their life and finances and leave the children without a father.
But this is what already they are doing, Steve.
I know. So MGTOW makes sense. It's men just going on strike.
Yeah, and this needs to happen. And this is why I can't blame MGTOW guys, because men need to show that this attitude that women have, they don't want it. And women need to realize, and the only way women can realize is when men just check out from women and they don't want to deal with women in their current state. If women want a man, women need to work and women need to earn men's trust back. There is no way around it.
They got their peace fishing.
Yeah,
got their
right.
peace fishing.
I mean, what else? What else can they do? The more we avoid here the facts, the harder it's going to unleash later on in the Western society.
I don't think we need to watch the rest of this video because that man, he's obviously. Well, I watched this before. He's devastated by a woman who left him.
Yeah.
And he's sitting in one spot for like 24 hours, just crying and grieving. Like he's showing how important she is to him and hoping she'll come back. Well, yeah, we've done that. We've all maybe done that. Many men do that.
Yeah.
And he looks pathetic and it's not going to work.
Yeah, once she's gone, she's gone. And probably for the best for the men, but they don't see it right away. Once a cheater, always a cheater. If a woman is a harlot, nothing is going to change that. Nothing. No amount of money, no amount of gifts. This is why I'm saying that women need to work on themselves hard.
Well, you just have to put expectations on women. Because women are not high on self-discipline.
No. Look, if they are not being taught self-discipline when they were young, expecting self-discipline from them when they are old is just a waste of time. Nick, you were saying something. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Did we have any more videos to watch, or those are the only two we had?
Well, those were the ones that were related to China.
Okay.
Then there is the video by
American video.
American video. Yeah. Okay.
Women are delusional, men are
Disenfranchised.
yes.
Okay, let's watch
Okay,
it.
so that kind of describes it. Men are disenfranchised.
It's true.
They've kind of given up.
Yeah. Okay, let me show the screen here. Okay, we're probably not going to watch the full video, okay? But we'll see. Oh, hold on a second. I need to check that it's not showing, right?
Not yet. Now it is.
Okay, now it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I started running it and I'm like, okay, guys, if you can't see it for a while, let me know. Because sometimes I forget to click the right button to show it.
Whether you are single, dating, in a relationship, situationship, married, wherever you are on the relationship spectrum, what most people are saying is that relationships have gotten a lot harder. Dating has gotten a lot harder. Maintaining a relationship has gotten a lot harder. Now, of course, we could point our finger at the dating apps, which certainly aren't helping, and we could talk about that endlessly. The system that people are operating in, the inflation, the economy, the court systems, the legality of marriage, all play a role. But in all of those things, and behind all those things, and in all relationships, there are people. And that's what I want to talk about today, because I sit in a very unique vantage point. I work predominantly with men. I run a company called Man Talks. So I get to hear men's complaints all the time. I get to hear the situations that men are in. I get to hear the circumstances that men are in. But I also work with my wife, who's a marriage and family therapist, and we work with a ton of couples. I also have the unique vantage point of having a lot of women follow me. I know a lot of you are listening to this right now. I get your messages about the men that you're dating and the relationships that you have just gone through that have ended, that weren't great. I hear about the divorces and the marriages that failed, the infidelities, the hardship, the hurt, the attachment issues, etc. So I have a very unique vantage point. And after hearing for the last few years what's been going on, I've tried to disseminate down into one statement, which is going to piss some of you off, probably both sides of the spectrum, men and women. It's probably going to piss most of you off. But I've tried to disseminate this down to a fundamental truth that I think is happening for most people. And I think what's happening in modern dating is that women have become delusional and men are completely disenfranchised. And I'm going to break those two things down. So before you get in the comment section and you start to defend yourself, I'm not delusional, I'm not disenfranchised. Hear me out, okay? Share this with somebody, man it forward, share this with somebody that you think would enjoy this conversation, that could maybe benefit from what I'm about to lay out. And don't forget to subscribe wherever you are listening. All right, let's get in. Let's start with you, ladies. Women are delusional. And there are three things that are making women delusional within the current dating and relationship world that I think everybody should be aware of. And men, I'm going to address you next. You're not off the hook. First and foremost, ladies, your expectations. We need to talk about your expectations. Now, I know some women are going to be immediately in the comments about this one. Men just need to rise up. Men need to be better. Men need to da-da-da-da-da. I get it. Sometimes that is the case. But the reality is that this needs to be said. The man that some women expect to date doesn't exist outside of her head. Okay? The man that some of you expect to date doesn't exist in the world. He only exists in your head. Your expectations are the reason that you can't find a man that you could actually be in relationship with, because you are married and in love with the image of the man that you have either created in your head or think that you are entitled to. And that's happening for a number of reasons, right? We could talk about how Disney has sort of sold and indoctrinated women into this Prince Charming notion that there's this utopian man out there for each and every single one of you who is perfect and never does anything wrong and never loses his temper and just really isn't a human being, right? He's a cartoon character. And I don't mean that in a derogatory sense. I'm not trying to degrade you. I'm not saying that you don't deserve an exceptional love. I'm not even saying that you don't deserve an exceptional relationship or a man who elevates your life, that you admire, that you respect. I hope that and wish that for all of you, which is why I'm having this conversation. So Disney and modern commentary has sold an image of a man to women that is unrealistic. And that man is usually an omni-man. I call him omni-man. An omni-man is the man who can do everything all the time the best and better than any other man. It's an impossible role for men to fill, right? So there's a lot of women that, and you know, it went viral, the looking for a guy in finance, 6'5", blue eyes, whatever the hell the thing was, right? And while that may have been a joke, for some women, that is literally the thing. They have dialed in their selection preference to be such a narrow bandwidth that they ignore the men that they would actually be fulfilled, satiated, satisfied by, deeply in love with, because their criteria and their list, your list and your criteria matters more than the man who is in front of you. You miss out on the genuine, loving, lovable man that you could fall in love with in front of you because he doesn't meet the criteria that you laid out before you met him. Now, I think that that's part of the expectations, but the other part is that for the most part, women's mating strategy or selection strategy has not evolved with the current state of the world, right? Women generally look for, you ladies generally look for men who are up and to the right. You want to date men who are up and to the right, meaning that they have more financial stability or ability to procure goods, services, finances, or they have some type of elevated status. And as women have risen economically, as women have risen in status, the selection preferences hasn't changed. And so a lot of you are out there making more money than the majority of men. You have more social status, more sort of economic status than the men that are out there. And yet your expectations of who you are going to date are still the same. But the dating pool that exists within those selection preferences is so astronomically small. You know, so if you're looking for a guy in finance that's 6'5" with blue eyes with a trust fund, that's like 0.0000001% of the population. You know, and you have to be in a very specific zip code in Manhattan in order to find that dude. And even then, that dude is likely not incentivized to be in a relationship with you because he's got thousands and thousands of options from which he can select from. So expectations are the enemy of a woman's relationship. Okay, they feed into the delusion. Again, I'm not saying anything about you personally. I'm not attacking you personally. I'm saying that some of the expectations that you get into are not helping your dating life, your relationship life, because maybe you're in a relationship with an exceptional man, but every time one of his flaws comes up, you start to think about the dude that you saw on Tinder before you guys met, right? Or the guy that you came into contact with at work, you know, the owner's son or whatever it is, right? And so you start to compare the man that you are with or the man that you're dating to the expectations, the image, or who you think society has sold to you. The second thing that creates the delusion is that women are better than men relationally. Okay? Ladies, I have worked with so many couples and I have received so many DMs over the last 10 years. I have received so many messages and emails from women who reach out to me and in some way, shape, or form insinuate that they are better at the relationship than their male counterpart. And they say things like, well, women just communicate better. Women are nicer. Women nurture the relationship. They're the ones that make sure the relationship happens or is, you know, maintained. And of course, there's examples of this. Of course, there are men that are out there who are not good at relationship, who don't invest into the relationship. But this is certainly not universally true. men and women contribute something equally important to the relationship, and negating what men bring to the relationship, which might be different from you, right? What a man brings into a relationship with you might actually be something different than what you bring in to the relationship. And so what a woman adds to a relationship, what women believe and have bought into that creates the delusion is that what women add and contribute to the relationship is fundamentally more valuable and more important to the relationship than what men add and contribute. And this creates part of the delusion. And not only that, it creates a power imbalance as soon as you enter into the relationship. So a lot of modern women have bought into this notion that what men bring to the table in a relationship, whatever he's bringing, I'm not going to list some of those things off because you can just see the arguments in the comment section. Whatever a man does bring into a relationship is not as inherently valuable as what a woman brings into the relationship. And that is false. Men bring extremely valuable things into relationships. Maybe a man embodies a sense of direction, a sense of vision for the family that is completely invaluable. Maybe a man is bringing in a sense of assertiveness and boundaries that are going to help create direction. Who knows? I'm just giving some examples, right? I'm not saying that those are the only things. The third thing is that is entitlement. It's going to drop it there. It's going to put the gavel down, right? The third thing that's creating this delusion is this entitlement. Again, Disney and modern culture have sold so many women the idea that they are entitled to this perfect utopian whimsical type of relationship without any flaws with the perfect men. And so women carry this type of entitlement of I deserve X. I deserve Y. I hear it all the time. I get messages and DMs from women all the time. I deserve to have a man who fill in the blank. And the hard thing about this is that there's this notion that you are entitled to a certain type of man, which is not given. And the problem that happens for a lot of people, for a lot of relationships, is that when men feel that entitlement from you, they don't want to date you. Nobody wants to date somebody who's entitled, right? Just like you probably wouldn't want to date a man who's extremely arrogant and overly cocky. It might be kind of sexy, a little bit of it, little sprinkle here and there. But a guy who is overly entitled and overly arrogant, I deserve X. You should be doing this for me. Right. And I think probably an example of this is that some men bring in sexual entitlement into a relationship. I am entitled to sex. I'm entitled to you putting out and, giving me what I want sexually. That's what I'm entitled to. Well, the inverse of that is women saying, I'm entitled to the type of man that I think I deserve. And there was this interesting poll that was put out, and it asked men, if you met a woman who was an 8 out of 10 for you, looks wise, character wise, she met a lot of the sort of things that you were looking for. She was an 8 out of 10. Would that be good enough for you to choose in a long-term relationship? And the majority of men said yes. When women were asked the exact same question, you find a man who's an 8 out of 10 for you, looks, humor, characteristics, attitude, finances, do you take him? The majority of women said no. So women have a sense of I am entitled to the perfect man for me. And that feeds into this delusion. Now, men, let's talk to you, because men are disenfranchised. And again, I'm just going to say this right out of the gates. Neither one is better or worse, right? This is a equal 100% contribution to the gong show of modern relationships and modern dating, okay? Women being delusional and men being disenfranchised, one's not better than the other, one's not worse than the other. They are equally contributing to a systemic problem that is hurting people in getting the relationships and the love that they ultimately want. So let's talk to you guys. Men are disenfranchised.
Okay.
Why are you disenfranchised? Well, one of the things
let's
I
stop
hear
it
a
here.
lot as soon as this comes up is, well,
okay, the disenfranchisement. Yeah, okay. I mean, he's going to say some valid things. But our topic today is delusion. So I will say I'll summarize what disenfranchisement is.
Mm-hmm.
Men have a delusion too. I want to find a rational woman. And I've looked and I've looked and I've been married twice. My God, I cannot find a rational woman. And the women that I married seemed rational, but it turned out they were not. So now I'm disenfranchised because I don't think a rational woman exists. But I keep looking, but I can never find one. Okay, well, I'm kind of looking for that unicorn of the rational woman. Hey guys, the rational woman is a unicorn. You are not going to find her.
Okay. So that's kind of a men's delusion, you know?
Yeah.
Well, disenfranchisement means I've given up.
Okay.
Well, so it's kind of like where MGTOW is. No?
Yeah, it's a bit of giving it up.
Hey, I think we have a new nickname for Nick. We're going to call him Omni-Man.
Oh, gosh.
Because when he goes out, man, he's got to bring a fly swatter. Because women are coming up to him all the time. Because they see Nick and, oh, he's Omni-Man.
No. Sometimes they get mad. They get mad when they get rejected. They're not used to that.
Yeah.
Well, that's my point is women have this vision of what the man they want is before they actually get to know Nick and he disappoints them. They think he might be Omni-Man.
Up until he opens his mouth.
No. This all happens in one evening. The more he opens his mouth and rejects them, the more they think, oh, he's Omni-Man, and he's just playing hard to get.
Competition anxiety, too.
Yeah.
They see one woman, then they're like, oh, well, I need to go over here because they see this other girl talking. Yeah, but most of them, nope. Nope, pass. Not worth it. You never know. I might find a good one day. That's okay. Till then, I'm just going to be me. I have my peace. Man does not want a woman that takes away his peace. RSVP.
Guys, remember that. That's what you really want. And for you women who happen to be listening to this, you know what? You got to bring to a man what he really wants. And it's easy to remember. RSVP. Respect, sexual variety, and peace. Yeah, unfortunately, those things that you would do with Chad in your wild days, you pretty much need to do with your husband because he expects that from you. And that will bring him, he will love you more. The more restrictive you are, it's the Madonna horror complex. That horror persona, not literal, but that persona, that concept, that's in your past. Now you present yourself as the Madonna who is worthy of love. Sorry, you have both those aspects. Embrace that part of yourself. But you need to recognize that other part and do not deprive your man of that. And if you do, you'll become dissatisfied, and eventually so dissatisfied, you may choose to divorce him and go explore that neglected side. Nick, you're the former pastor. Am I off base here?
No. Nope. Not at all. Yeah, so you can have a church lady or not a church lady. The nature's still the same. The delusion's still the same. It might actually might be worse for the church ladies, actually, because they have to mask it up and all this holy bull crap and whatever. But they're so freaking delusional. Hey, I could get run through, and my expectations keep getting higher and higher and higher. You think you're gonna meet your Prince Charming, but the guy that you really liked, yeah, he used you. He didn't want a relationship with you, but I can get a guy. Oh, I guess I need to settle. My time's running out. Oh, she's not really attracted to the guy. She doesn't have that genuine burning desire, and it's somehow his fault.
You're right.
And she divorces him, and then she has to go explore. So yeah,
So,
it's the female
I have a
delusion.
question for you guys. So the guy who picks you up and who wipes her up when she hits the wall or like close to hit the wall, does he contribute to her delusions more in a way that, okay, he's paying for her, he's taking care of her, so her expectations again go up because she found one guy who is willing to pay the high price, let's say, and then she benefits from him, and then she initiates divorce because she still wants excitement, and she says that, okay, I found one guy who is willing to commit to me and have a serious relationship with me, so I can find another one.
Maybe. I don't think he's doing it. He doesn't know what he's doing. He thinks, "Oh, girl, she likes me. Oh, look at her. She's come to her senses. She likes the good man now, and this would be a great woman to raise a family with." And the guy's probably has his, a lot of times might have really good intentions.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to say absolutely he increases her delusion.
Yeah, I would. Yeah.
Because she moved from her freewheeling days. Now she raised her price.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Nice Guy comes along. Who I'm priding myself on being the nice guy. I don't abuse women. And I provide. And oh yeah, okay. You're 29 years old. Yeah, okay. Let's get together and form a family. Finally, this woman moves out of her delusional stage, those guys who dumped her, and she recognizes me and my value because I'm the nice guy. Finally, she's getting a woman. She's not delusional anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm going to treat her nice. I'm going to treat her nicer than all those chads in the past. And she's going to love me for that. The nicer you treat her, the more in her mind her value goes up, the more disgusted she gets because you know what? You're a bootlicker.
Bootlicker.
We call it a simp. But no, you're a bootlicker.
Yeah. Well, it makes
and
total sense.
In her mind, her value keeps going up. And unconsciously, her disgust grows for you.
Yeah.
So now she wants to find Chad with your income.
Yeah.
And she wants to find, a guy in touch with his emotions.
Oh my God. Yes.
And that good guy, that nice guy. Yeah. What is she not saying? She wants to find Chad, the dominant, asshole type of guy, who is also a nice guy. She doesn't want the nice guy who's a nice guy. She wants the Chad who's a nice guy. So when women say they want a nice guy, they're only telling you half the story. And it sounds like a lie, but in their delusional state, it's actually true, but they're not telling you the whole story.
Yeah. Yeah, because they want an asshole to be nice to them and have the same income as the nice guy who buys them expensive stuff.
And be dominant and directive, but also listen to her. Fried ice cream, anybody?
Yeah.
Man.
So, guys, you are not, your competition is the fictitious man. You will never measure up to that imaginary man who has all the traits, meets all her checklist.
Mhm.
You're a real man. And on average, real men are average.
Yeah.
And even the most exceptional man probably still can't compete with the omni man who has everything a woman would want.
Omni man. Oh man.
So the nastier you are, in a good sense, right? The nastier you are to women, the more omni you are for them.
Yep. It's freaking crazy, but I guess so.
Yeah.
You know, there's one thing we've learned here today. Mr. Sandman is not Mr. Omni Man.
Okay, who is Mr. Sandman?
Look at my name, dummy.
I know, but I mean, in a okay, Nick is an omni man, then like Mr. Sandman, who is he? Have you come up with a name for yourself yet?
Maybe I should change my subtitle to Omni Man. Oh, we could do a topic on Omni Man. That's a good
Yeah, actually. Yeah. Like, so what would you recommend to women as they start realizing that they want to settle down and have a family?
What a silly question.
Well, I'm asking for the audience. I'm hopeful that
I
there
know.
might be
Okay.
some women there.
Okay. Recommending something to women and having them listen to it and apply it,
Yeah.
it just doesn't happen.
Well, I know.
Ladies, do what you want, pursue what you want. You know, and you're going to have to learn from what you do, or you know what? If it doesn't work out for you, there's always cats and box wine.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, some women might listen.
Some women
Might.
I'm hopeful.
But the delusion's never going to entirely go away.
True. Yeah. Well, as long as they can manage their delusions and, you know, like set them aside and say, okay, this is reality. This is what I'm doing now. I'm surrounded by real men. So maybe.
Well, okay. You're lonely. A woman is lonely.
Mhm.
Okay, here's what I'll tell women. Go back to Genesis 3. Women were the woman was created to be the helpmeet for the man. God did not create her to be strong and independent. Adam was strong and independent. And then he said, God, I'm lonely. He didn't need the woman for anything other than companionship. He wanted her so he wouldn't be lonely. So since he was strong and independent and capable and all that stuff, She didn't have to be created for that. So, ladies, if you are that strong, independent woman and are trying to be and pretending you are, really, it's not going to make you happy. And you're going to end up crying about it later on in life. And really, you know what? I've never truly met a strong, independent woman, even though they claim that. Your happiness is probably found in being a helpmate, being a companion. And when you're a companion, you might get the satisfaction you want. So that man in front of you who doesn't meet your expectations, he's giving you companionship. In most cases, yeah, okay, there's exceptions where it doesn't happen. So you got to decide what you really desire. Do you want a companion? And I'm not talking a partner. No. Marriage or a relationship is a hierarchy. You are not his equal. There are no equals in the world. An apple is not equal to an orange. They're both fruit. They're both enjoyable, but an apple is not equal to an orange. Just like in work, where you have a boss and he is in a position of authority over you and tells you what to do and makes the decisions and direction. You don't nag your boss. You don't have to nag your man. Realize this partnership, this equality is baloney. If you want a companion, you're going to have to accept the real man who, on average, is going to be an average man.
Yeah, and you are going to accept the hierarchy. Because, see, they all want a traditional man, but they don't want to be traditional themselves. But traditionalism implies hierarchy and patriarchy.
Yes. No, they don't. They want to dress. They want to dress up. These tradcons. They want to put on the dress and go out and look in nature. And I'm a traditional woman. No.
Oh, what they do is they are showing it on a superficial level. They think that just by pretending to be something that they are not. Well, first of all, they are pretending to be a man, but it's more ingrained in their mindset with feminism. That when Steve was saying about Genesis 3, where a woman was created as a helpmate and she was supposed to be under her husband, right? Based on the hierarchical order. But then they try to be like a man. Feminism tells them that, yeah, ladies, be like a man, basically.
And men are, and naturally men don't desire to be with another man.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, Elena, you're the married woman here. Does your husband ever assert his authority over you?
Is my husband ever what?
Did your husband ever take his authority over you?
Oh, yeah.
And tell you, no, we're not doing that, or no, what you did was wrong. Okay, does he do that kind of thing?
Yeah, all the time.
Okay, so are you happy? Are you pleased when he does that?
Yeah.
In the moment?
Well, maybe not like
not in the moment.
Every single moment, but in the long run, I realized that.
Oh, okay. That was my next question. Okay. Was in the moment, you kind of get upset and don't like it. Called you out. Or he asserted a boundary. Okay, most of the time, I think he's right. Some of the time, I'm sure he's wrong. But it's still his boundary.
Yeah.
You may not like it in the moment. Over the long term, over the weeks, months, you actually trust him because he's got things under control. He takes responsibility and he's looking out for you, and it works. So women that listen to you is, yeah, a man might have to assert something in the short term, and you might become displeased about it. But in the long term, that is better. And, he's looking out for your best interest. You might decide in the long term, it's better. And so, men, the lesson to you is opposite. You might have to make your woman feel bad in the short term in order to bring her security in the long term. And a lot of men are afraid of offending a woman and calling her out because I might hurt her feelings. No,
in the moment,
you have to. You have to hurt her feelings.
Yeah.
Because if her feelings are delusional and not based on reality or facts, her feelings do not triumph, do not win over facts. So, you know what? If you don't do that, you're going to be miserable. You are feeding into the delusion by trying to appease your wife in her delusions, which only increases the delusions.
Right, because the more you appease, the more she shifts the foundation from you. And then the more you have to work. Or usually what happens is that she breaks up with you because you stopped. Like at some point, you can't fulfill all of your delusions. Something breaks there. It's either she will get fed up that you can't tell no to her, and she will subconsciously be looking for the man who can actually say no to her.
So there's a book in the RP space. I've probably read it audio and read it, together combined probably about 10 times. It's called No More Mr. Nice Guy.
Yeah.
Guys listening, if you haven't read it, you should read it. Do you have to agree with everything in there? No, I don't agree with everything in there, but it does break down the problem of being the nice guy, the pushover, the guy that has covert contracts, then gets upset when your expectations are not met. Because you assume, if I am nice, eventually I'm going to get this in return. Or if I do this, I'm going to get this in return. And it doesn't work out. Being a nice guy does not work out. So you need to read the book. It's good. It'll help you. It helped me.
Yeah, it's by Dr. Robert Glover.
Yeah.
Yep.
So for those of you who have not heard the concept of the nice guy, no, don't be a nice guy. You can be a good man.
Right.
Yes, you can be a moral man and not be a nice guy. Jesus never told us to be nice. He told us to be moral and to be good.
And you can be kind, and that's different from being nice.
Yeah.
So kindness is out of the goodness of your being with no expected results. Just showing kindness to somebody, being charitable, benevolent. But no strings attached.
Yeah, nice is like you are downgrading yourself so that the other person can exploit your kindness or...
Well, there's two aspects. Is you don't have a backbone. So the nice guy's pliable, but also he uses his currency of being, I'm just a nice guy. And he tries to use that to manipulate, expecting something in return.
Yeah.
So it's actually not even kindness. It's being a weak
expectations.
So I call it a weak bitch.
Yeah, well, and if you look at the simps, right, the men who appease women, they appease women because they think that they will get something. They will get more sex. They will get your attention, right? she will
They
be
want the
nice to
reward
them.
for being the nice guy. There is no reward for being a nice guy.
True. Well, it's all in their mind. This is the thinking process that they're going through when they try to be nice, because they believe that if they are nice to a woman, she will give them the good things. And women saying only part of, like, by women not acknowledging the reality and who they are in their essence, they are actually misleading guys, because when guys watch these videos, like we analyzed last week, what she was saying to men, that, oh, I want a man who is so comfortable and so emotionally available and on the same spiritual level as I am. She is deluding herself, and weak men with weak dominant masculine, who don't have dominant masculine presence, who are spineless, they fall for her delusions. Instead of saying no to her, they buy into what she is saying. If she tells that she wants a spiritually available, emotionally available man out there, and therefore you have Mr. Nice Guys out there trying to simp for her, because she said that, right? She did mention that she wanted it.
Well, that's because they don't have what you call an abundance mindset with regards to box. They're desperate for to have sex with these females, and they think by doing that they'll eventually get what they need or want.
Yeah,
And
well,
that does the opposite. Actually does the the opposite.
bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. Not if that bird in the hand is nagging at you. Set it free. Go find a bird in the bush. A hand in the bush is even better than two birds in the bush.
Yeah, you have to watch how women behave, even if you were nice to them at some point. When women say one thing, they might not realize, and in fact, they don't realize what they are asking for, and they are getting exactly what they are asking for, because they don't challenge themselves. They believe all of the feminist crap, that, like, this emotional availability, which contradicts the traits of a masculine man. Biology tells them you want a strong, rational, masculine man who can take care of you, right? And feminism tells them that, oh, you actually don't want a masculine man because you can be strong, powerful, independent by yourself, rely on yourself. You need a partner, equal partner, emotionally available simp who will pedestalize you, who will worship you.
Oh, so it's not equal.
Hey, come on. You know what? Do you think this doesn't make sense? It makes perfect sense. You'll go back to Genesis. I think it's Genesis 3:16, where the curse comes down. Her desire shall be for her husband.
And he shall rule over.
You got to think about that. Her desire shall be to control her husband, but he shall rule over her. So every woman is going to desire, okay, what are shit tests? See, if he's going to be dominant enough to rule over her, she's going to test him. She's going to try and take that leadership position. And he, God says, and he shall rule over her. He shall command her. He shall keep his dominant position. She's going to keep trying to bump up and take it from him. And okay, that shit test, that's a modern world. You may disagree with me all you want. I'm just saying this has existed since the beginning.
Yeah. Well, but then women were more like down to earth back then, and they didn't have that exposure and variety of men.
Okay. Do you have
about
any
before.
proof of that?
Well, we were living in patriarchy, right, for quite some time, and
Okay,
you what
yeah.
happens to women if they
It
let their
wasn't a global
husbands.
marketplace. It wasn't a
It
global
wasn't a global
marketplace.
marketplace. Yeah, they would
Okay,
make it
maybe-
if they cheated. Okay, they would get kicked. They would be kicked to the curb because the church would hold them accountable and say, like, lady, this is not an appropriate wifely behavior. You're not supposed to do that.
Maybe. Okay, yeah, I will agree that things are worse today. But going back and thinking, oh, in the 1950s, we didn't have to deal with these issues. Oh, in the 1900s. Oh, back in the 1700s, women knew their place and weren't this difficult.
Are you saying the nature?
I'm sorry.
The opportunity.
It's been there all along. This fantasy about going in the past and it wasn't like this, that's baloney. It was like this, or at least close to the way things are. There's always been challenges between men and women.
Yeah.
Yep.
The nature of women has not changed. The nature of men has not changed.
Well, what changed?
Yeah, okay, maybe the delusion is a little bit more extreme today.
Social
There's
order
more
has
opportunity.
changed.
Yeah.
Social order has changed.
The guards have been taken away. All the fences around the institution and society that held things in check have been taken away. But why were they there?
To mitigate the the damage. Yeah.
You know, in the past, this delusion that men could just be average and simpy and have a good outcome probably wasn't true. Men have always needed to be dominant. Men always have needed to be more dominant than the women. So, if these strong, independent women are out there, sorry guys, it requires you to become more dominant and in control of yourself. And
But
ability
this is what exactly women want. You know, if you actually listen to what they say, I want a man who is much stronger than me because of their hypogamous nature, right? They want a better man. If they already make a lot of money, a man needs to make even more money than them. It's at some point, like, it becomes impossible to outbeat them. You know, like, how much more dominant, like, do you, like, even if you are that much more dominant than her, do you really genuinely want to handle her? I mean,
Exactly.
she's high
No,
maintenance.
you don't. You don't.
So, is education good for women or good for society? Is the education of women beneficial to women or society?
I would say yes to a point.
Well, it depends on what kind of education. If women know how to read, how to write, right? If they know how to be wives, if they know how to do some...
No, I'm talking about difference. You go to college, university.
Okay.
Women get an education in sociology, early childhood development, psychology, political science. And then she gets her master's degree. And she uses her youth to get that. And now, I'm a smart woman. I have degree, master's degree. Or, she goes into a field where she actually is compensated. But now she thinks she's higher value. And she's looking for that higher value man. And she can't find one that meets her expectations. And is that education good for her? I'm going to say, maybe not. Is it good for society? Probably not, because it increases her expectations.
Yes.
Now, I do agree that I desire a smart, intelligent woman. And the education of in some arts and culture and things like that. Oh yeah, yeah, great. I love that. But this increasing her market value because she has this degree and her status level because of her education, that just leads to more delusion. And the higher the education of women gets, the lower the birth rate goes, the more dysfunctional society gets. And it just doesn't seem to work. And I'm not, okay, please understand me. I don't want women to be stupid. I actually desire a smart, above average intelligence woman who has some degree of education, as long as it doesn't go to her head. And Elena actually has quite a bit of education, but she never went down the career path and used that to think that, oh, I can have this salary and I can have this wonderful career and do that. No, she didn't do that. She's an educated woman who that really had no big draw for her to go down that path. Elena has a lot of talents. So educated and intelligent. I think that's great. But career-minded? No. Elena's not career-minded.
Well, if you consider I think the best career women can do for themselves is to marry a good man, because it's the most important decision in their life that they're going to make. So if they go to college, historically, they went to college so that they could meet their husbands, their potential husbands there. This is why they were sent to college. Not because I'm smart, I'm going to do everything myself. Look what Kate Middleton did. She went to college, she met Prince William, they got married. Well, now she works as a royal, right? But the goal of education for women should be to settle down with a good man, not to be strong, powerful, and independent. This is where the indoctrination begins, and this is where their delusions skyrocket. Because the moment they are convinced that they can live without a man, they can do everything by themselves, they need to rely on themselves, they can make as much money as they want. That's the problem.
Yeah. It is a problem. But the delusion never ends.
Even if you get all of those degrees, right? Even if you pursue your career, then you have to realize that you are still a woman. Your biology demands that you get married and have children, possibly, right? You can't go against your nature.
You know, I once dated a woman who was in medical school, who was going to become a psychiatrist.
Hmm.
It didn't last long. I broke it off. It could have been, wow, a new engineer making engineer's money, and her a psychologist or a psychiatrist. Damn, we could have been high income. No, sorry. Nope. I think it's actually better to marry the woman who is the clerk, the local plumbing supply place. She's probably more down to earth. She's probably easier to deal with. Yeah. You'll probably be happier with that plumbing supply clerk than you will with the career woman with the high degree.
That's true. Because when they are pursuing what men are pursuing, like initially men would go to college so that they could get a higher paying job, right? They go to the masculine specialties right? And women try to be like women who want a degree, who want that independence. They want to be like men. They want to be like men, and this is why like they have the mindset of a man, even though biologically they are a woman. It's not going to work. It's not going to work in their favor. It's like, seriously, if they're wasting their time, the best years of their lives on colleges, on their career, they will run out of options.
Yeah, well, I think we need to call it short, cut it short here, because you know, we've gone on for quite a while, and
college football's going on.
Yeah, and our viewership has declined. Maybe they'll come back and watch it. And RP Thor, well, the dragon ship is on.
Oh, okay, the dragon ship, yeah.
So, you know what? We got plenty of time to talk about these things later. And for those who tune in later, or to the handful of viewers left, yeah, like, share, comment, come up with something that you want us to address. Yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah, and let me quickly share our schedule, guys. Please come join us for the in-depth conversations on Saturdays. Then on Mondays through Fridays, I'm running different fitness practice on my channel. So come join me for the workouts. And then on Mondays and Wednesdays, guys, on the Resurgence of Sanity, they have 2 amazing shows for you. So go check them out. Subscribe to their YouTube channel, please. And I think we are done here. Can I hear the echo or something? Cool. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Nick, so much for.
Glad to be here.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate your insights and your wisdom. And I'm looking forward to your show on Monday. Have a great.
Oh yeah, I got to work on that a little bit.
Oh, so what are you doing on Monday?
Oh, victimhood bingo.
Oh, nice. Okay.
we gotta design a bingo card, I think.
Okay, yeah. Tell me what you want to put there behind the scenes after we are done here. Okay.
All right.
Okay, guys. We'll see you soon. Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us today. Like and subscribe, and see you soon. Bye.
elenasbarre, the best place on the internet, the very best by far.